my babes, welcome back to another video. My name is Dominique if you are new, and today I'm going to be sharing with you guys why your hair is not growing. For those of you who are new, I am a relaxed babe. Make sure you go ahead and check out all of my other relaxed hair videos, but if you are interested in seeing why I think your hair is not growing, then just keep watching. So first thing is first, you guys, your hair is not growing is not a thing. Your hair is growing unless you have a medical condition or genetics or you are aging. Your hair is growing. Let me say that again. Your hair is growing. The problem is you are having way more breakage than you are seeing growth, and that is your problem. So to put it in better words for you guys, let's say your hair grows 2 inches, yet you turn around and you have 3 inches of breakage. Now you are technically negative 1 inch, so you visually don't see any growth, but your hair has grown. It's grown, but you are breaking more than you are retaining. So now the new question is, what can I do to retain my length? The first reason why you are seeing a lot of breakage is probably because of the way that you're going to bed at night. I'm not sure how you guys wrap your hair up. Picture one hair strand on a piece of cotton. That hair strand is going to catch onto that cotton and snag off. So that's why it is very important for you to, one, either wrap your hair up at night, or two, have silk sheets. I know a few people who prefer not to wrap up their hair, so they have silk sheets. I don't have silk sheets, I have regular sheets, so I will happily wrap my hair up at night. You want to do this so your hair does not catch onto things and it snags. That right there is breakage. Also, another thing that you can think about is certain clothing. I know when I used to work in the dining room and I used to have my server vest on, it was a black vest and it was like a velvety material, and I noticed whenever my hair was down on that material, it would snag and break off. So whenever I went to work, I always had my hair up. I never had my hair down, and plus I was a server, so it had to be up anyways. Just be cautious as to what your hair is touching as far as material. Your hair can attach to things and it can get broken off, so make sure you are wrapping your hair up at night, whether it be in a net, a bonnet, a silk scarf, anything like that. If you are interested in seeing how I wrap my hair up at night, then make sure you go ahead and check out this video. I'll go ahead and put a link right here. But guys, make sure you are wrapping your hair up at night. That is probably one of the major ways that people are losing their hair. And plus, when you wrap your hair up at night, you keep your hairstyle for longer. Of course, if you have straight hair, if you wrap it, you can make it last for 2 weeks. Let me just address, guys, every day we lose hair. Whenever you comb your hair or brush your hair, you are going to lose strands, but it is a certain amount that you are supposed to lose, and then anything over that amount, there is not necessarily a problem, but you need to start looking into it and seeing if one of these tips that I'm giving you guys could be the reason why you are losing more hair than you are retaining. Now, another reason why you guys may not be retaining hair is because your hair is dry. Just like a tree or any plant, if your plant is dry, that leaf is going to fall off. So you have to make sure that you keep your hair moisturized, keep your scalp moisturized, keep your actual hair strands moisturized, and most of all, keep your ends moisturized. When you keep your ends moisturized, it will prevent them from splitting, because that's how a split strand starts. It starts from being dry and it literally just goes up in splits. So definitely try to find products that you prefer to keep your hair moisturized. Keep a nice oil. I prefer a grease, but let me know if you guys would like for me to make a top 5 or top 6 moisturizers for my hair. I'm gonna give you guys some oils, some greases, and things like that, some hair lotions, my favorite. So let me know if you guys are interested in that. This next tip is specifically for my relaxed babes. Now, this is a huge one. Another reason why you may not be retaining length is because you are not getting your relaxers on time. And I struggle with this with, everything that's going on with the pandemic and my hair salon being closed. When you do not get your relaxer on time, it causes your hair to break. And that's just it, because now your hair is dealing with 2 textures, causing breakage. Your hair has new growth, probably an inch or 2, and then the rest is relaxed. So that is a problem. So you have to make sure that you keep your hair relaxed on time. And I know a lot of people tell you to stretch your relaxers, stretch your relaxers, stretch your relaxers. Everyone is different. I get asked very often, how long do I get my relaxers? I get my relaxers every 2 to 3 months, and it does vary. It varies if I'm on my hair infinity pills, which I am on right now. So I can probably go 2 months, maybe like a month and a half, but it just all depends. You guys, you have to listen to your hair. Look at your hair at night. Look in the mirror when you get your hair washed. This is the best time to inspect and see when you need a perm, is when you get your hair freshly washed, because now you are looking at your natural texture and you are saying, okay, I have, you know, probably like this much new growth. It's not that much, and you know, we can wait probably another week or 2. But when you have new growth down here and the rest is straight, that is a huge problem, because now your hair is going to start to break. And that is a problem, like I said, I had with this whole pandemic, with my hair salon being closed. If you guys are not aware, I do get my relaxers at my hair salon. So with them being closed, I really needed a relaxer and I couldn't get one. So definitely get your relaxers on time. If you have to, put a reminder in your phone. That is something that I just pretty much started doing, was putting a reminder in my phone every 2 months to go ahead and check my hair and see, like, okay, do you need a relaxer? But the good thing is my hairstylist, she actually keeps up with that for me. So when she's washing my hair and she sees my roots, she's like, hey, it's, you know, next time you come in, we're gonna go ahead and do a relaxer. So if you can find a home, you know, a home hair salon that actually takes care of your real hair, and you can find a stylist that you actually trust, then that'll be awesome. But if you do not have a home hairstylist that you go to and you do your hair at home, which that is not a problem, just make sure you're keeping up when the last time you had your relaxer, because that is the #1 way that someone has breakage, is not getting your relaxers on time. The 4th reason why your hair may not be growing, aka another reason why you are not retaining length, this is something that people commonly hear, yet they still do it. You are manipulating your hair way too much. You have to keep your hands off of your hair, so which means you have to find protective styles. I mean, anything from a wig to a sew-in to braids. Now, to each its own. I personally do not like sew-ins, because when you get a sew-in, you are literally getting thread in between your braids, and when you brush that thread, it's like you're sawing your hair. So I do not get sew-ins anymore. I used to. Now I'm more so on the wigs and the braids. So make sure you are getting protective styles to keep your hands out of your hair. You don't want to blow dry your hair every day. You don't want to flat iron your hair every day. I do get my hair done every 2 weeks. I stretch my blowouts for 2 weeks with me wrapping it, you know, keeping my hair moisturized and putting it up at night. That is how I keep stretching my blowouts. But you definitely do not want to have heat on your hair every day. You do not want to be in your hair every single day. Literally, I will unwrap my hair in the morning. I won't touch it until I get back home to put it back up at night. Also, you want to keep in mind how long you're having your protective styles in. Having a protective style in for a really long time can actually be harmful. Now, I know that I cannot go more than about 3 weeks to a month, sometimes 2 weeks. I really need to cut it down to 2 weeks that I keep a protective style in, such as braids, because my hair will start to break. My hair can only do so good for a long amount of time in braids, and I noticed that. So again, guys, you definitely want to listen to your hair, because everyone is different. My hair doesn't like braids for a long time. So make sure you are getting protective styles, but when you get them in, make sure you are not keeping them in for a long amount of time. And when you do have them in, still make sure you are taking care of your hair. Make sure you wash your protective style, especially if you have braids or wig. Take the wig off, wash your braids, oil your scalp, you know, grease your ends, do everything that you would still do with your hair out. Still take care of your hair even inside of that protective style. My 5th tip as to why your hair is not growing is probably because you have a poor diet. And when I say a poor diet, I don't mean, you know, like you're not dieting. No, I mean you're not getting in the nutrients that you need. So I would highly recommend, of course, I know this sounds so cliche, guys, like, try not to eat so much fast food. I know fast food is good, y'all, but try not to eat so much of it. Do try to get your greens in. You are what you eat. So make sure you keep a healthy diet, and you will definitely see that in your hair. I always drink a lot of water, but sometimes I do slack, and then I remember, like, when I drank a lot of water, you know, my hair was striving. So definitely keep your water intake up. Try to eat healthy foods. I'm not saying you can't eat good. You can have pizza, you can have burgers, but don't do it every day, because again, you are what you eat. And then we're not only going to be talking about hair problems, we're going to be talking about cardiovascular problems. So just try to eat healthy, guys. Poor diets, we can't do that. No, health is wealth. My sixth and my last tip as to why your hair is not growing or why you are not retaining length is because you are not letting go. Y'all, just like situationships, friendships, relationships, anything, if it is bad, let it go. And this is the same thing for hair. So you do have to trim your hair, guys. I know people hate trims and it is so backwards, but when you trim your hair actually strives because you are pretty much letting go of that dead weight. My hairstylist knows me. Whenever I'm in the hair salon, I'm like, do I need a trim? Do I need a trim? Do I need a trim? You sure? You sure? And she's like, no, you're good. But I do not mind getting trims because I already know as soon as I get that trim, honey, when I get back, my hair it's gonna be gorgeous. And plus, when you get that trim, I don't know if you guys noticed, but as soon as you get your hair trimmed, it's like your hair becomes more bouncy, you know? Your hair becomes more bouncy because you are letting go of that dead weight and you're giving your hair that chance to strive without that dead weight at the bottom. So I know, guys, it sucks, but you have to let go of those split ends. They are not going to get better. They are not going to revive. You just have to let them go and let your hair grow without them, because I promise you, give your hair about a month after you clip your hair and you will notice a huge difference. Even after you get your hair trimmed, right after you get a trim, you will automatically notice how bouncy your hair is, and it is because you are letting go of that dead weight. Once you start to notice how good a trim does your hair, you're going to become trim happy like me. And plus, you have to find someone who is not scissor happy. Now that is a whole nother story. You have to find someone who does not trim off more than they need to, because you do have some stylists that just want to trim. No, Maria, who is my hairstylist, she trims what needs to be trimmed and she leaves what can stay. Okay, so try to find someone who's not scissor happy. But if you do cut your hair alone, like I used to actually trim my own hair by myself, you can do it at home, trust me. But you want to go ahead and get that dead weight off of your hair so it can begin to strive. Now you guys are probably going to ask me, how often do I get my hair trimmed? And the answer is every 3 to 4 months. I notice every 3 to 4 months, that's typically when I get my hair trimmed. And sometimes I don't need a trim by then because my hair is not splitting, because I'm keeping my hair wrapped, I'm keeping my hair moisturized, I'm keeping my ends moisturized. So sometimes I do not need a trim at 3 months or 4 months. Sometimes it won't be until 6 months. So if you keep your hair up and you use these tips, and you'll definitely notice that you're not going to have to cut off your hair every 3 to 4 months. That's typically when people say that's when you're supposed to get your hair trimmed. But sometimes I won't go get a trim until it's 6 months. It's because my hair does not need it. And again, we're not going to cut off anything that we do not need to. You only cut off what you need to cut off. And my last few tips for you guys is to try and find a home hair salon. As you guys know, I do go to the Dominican hair salon every 2 weeks, and they are the people that take care of my hair. They are very proactive in the health of my hair, which I greatly appreciate. And I let my girl best friend do all of, you know, my wigs and my braids and stuff like that. But when it comes to my actual natural hair, the Dominicans is where I go. And I have one girl, she just understands my hair. She understands when I get relaxed. My scalp is very sensitive. She just understands me. So try to find a home hair salon. And another tip is to see a medical professional if you still feel like your hair is not growing. If you feel like, okay, it's not the retaining length thing, I feel like, you know, I have a medical condition, then definitely go seek medical help. But first, I would definitely try these tips and see if you are just not retaining length. But that is going to go ahead and wrap up this video, you guys. I hope that you really enjoyed it, and I hope that you take some of these tips into consideration. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Mwah!